Hi, welcome to How to D&D. My name is Fred Wheeler and today I want to talk about Dungeons & Dragons. The topic for today is how to use the Forgery kit in Dungeons & Dragons 5e. This is a Dungeon Master and player guide on how to use the Forgery kit in your Dungeons & Dragons 5e game. A Forgery kit is designed to duplicate the documents that you come across in your adventure and to make it easier to copy a person's seal or signature. Your character will need the original document to be copied. A Forgery kit costs about 15 gold pieces. You can get that from a specialist supplier like a Thieves Guild, or it could be constructed from a wide range of different suppliers such as general stores or trading posts where you can purchase the different items that make up your Forgery kit. The contents of a Forgery kit are stored in a small box that contains a variety of parchments, papers, different pens and inks, several quills, seals, sealing wax, gold and silver leaf, and other supplies necessary for the creation or creating convincing forgeries of your physical documents. Now, Xanathar's Guide to Everything also includes, in addition to this, and that is, there are small tools to sculpt melted wax to mimic the seal that are also provided in this particular kit. Anyone can have or use a Forgery kit, but making convincing copies of documents requires specialized training. What level of training is required to make any kind of forged documents is up to your Dungeon Master to adjudicate due to the complexity and range of applications being completely outside the scope of the Dungeons & Dragons 5e rules. Proficiency with this kit lets you add your proficiency bonus to your ability checks you can make to create physical forgeries of a document. If a character already has proficiency in a skill, stack the proficiency bonus or apply advantage to the dice roll when using your Forgery kit. There are 4 different skills and 1 ability check that you will use the most, and that is Arcana, Deception, History, Investigation, and Intelligence. What sort of documents can be made with a Forgery kit? Well, here's a small list. It is not exhaustive. You could certainly have a lot more. Legal documents, a map if you're using both the cartographer's tools and the Forgery kit, land and property deeds, a birth certificate, a patent of nobility, official or even informal letters, journals, diaries, a trade agreement, just a simple signature on any kind of document, a personal will, identification documents, travel permits, a book published or penned by monks and scribes that's sort of more official in nature rather than being something that anybody would throw together. So let's talk about the different skills that we're going to use with our Forgery kit. Arcana. A Forgery kit can be used in conjunction with the Arcana skill to determine if a magic item is real or fake. The idea is it's not trying to duplicate the identification spell or the short rest inspection to determine if there are properties to this magic item. No, you're just trying to figure out if it's magical. The time frame to determine if a magic item is real or fake should be longer than 6 seconds, but less than 1 hour to avoid negating something like the identification spell, detect magic, or the simple short rest. Otherwise, an unskilled person could figure out that a magic item has properties to it simply during a short rest, and your Forgery kit really wouldn't be much point to you whatsoever. Deception. A well-crafted forgery, such as papers proclaiming that you are a noble or a writ to grant you safe passage, can lend credence to your lies. In most cases, you're going to use a contest between the skill Deception and Investigation. Here are some DCs that you can use in your game if you do not want to use a contest. A DC 10 would be to forge a signature. A DC 15 is to mimic handwriting, such as a letter, journal, diary, a will, or a note. A DC 20 is to duplicate a wax seal, and a DC 25 is to duplicate an official document of some kind. The History skill. A Forgery kit combined with your knowledge of history improves your ability to create fake historical documents, or to tell if an old document is authentic. In most cases, you're going to use, again, a contest between history and investigation to determine how good the historical fake is, or to figure out how to make one yourself. The DC I'm going to provide you is just for one thing, and that's it, and that is DC 25 to create a patent of nobility. The investigation skill. When you examine objects, proficiency with your forgery kit is useful for determining how an object was made and whether it is genuine. Use a contest between your character's investigation check and the NPC's or non-player character's deception check to make the forged document or item to determine whether it's genuine. Here are some sample DCs that you could use in your game if you wanted to. A DC 15 to spot forged text, and a DC 15 to discern that a map is fake, provided that you have proficiency with the cartographer tools and the forgery kit, otherwise it's not probably going to work. Other tools combined with your forgery kit can be very useful. Knowledge of other tools makes your forgeries much more believable. For example, if you have combined something like your proficiency with the forgery kit with the proficiency of the cartographer's tools, then you can make a fake map. The DC would be a 20. A calligrapher or cartographer's tools combined with the forgery kit would simply add advantage to your ability check or skill check. Or, if that's not going to work because you're already applying advantage, then lower the difficulty class or DC, or allow for some sort of automatic success. If a player's character has proficiency in the calligrapher tools or something like the cartographer tools, and another character has proficiency in the forgery kit, they could combine their skill and simply apply advantage to the ability check to make that forgery. How to make a quick fake. As part of a short rest, which is 1 hour, you can produce a forged document no more than 1 page in length. Or, if you wanted to make something more complicated, as part of a long rest, which would be 2 hours out of the 8 hours of your long rest, and 6 hours would be spent sleeping, you can produce a document that is up to 4 pages long. Your intelligence check using your forgery kit determines the DC for someone else using their intelligence or investigation check to spot that fake. Forgery kit knowledge. Player characters with proficiency in the forgery kit might know a black market dealer or have an underground contact that handles official documents and books that you can use in your game. But this does tend to duplicate some of the backgrounds available in the Dungeons & Dragons 5e rules, so I would be very careful about trying to do this because this is not official. What does Sage Advice tell us about the forgery kit? Well, unfortunately, very little. Unless a feature states otherwise, a proficiency bonus for the forgery kit is only added to that skill or ability check once. So you don't usually stack something like the proficiency bonus. So that's why I've suggested something like changing the DC, adding advantage, or allowing something like automatic success. How much does it cost for a forged document? Well, I would suggest pick a number between 0 and 10 and then multiply that by a number such as 10 or 100, because essentially there's no way of really knowing how much it's going to cost. Okay, so my suggestion is use your common sense. Figure out roughly what you think the material cost is, and that's going to be the cost of making up that forged document in some way. Reference books for the forged kit. That would be the Player's Handbook on page 154 and 177 through to 179. You'll find nothing pretty much in the Dungeon Master Guide, but Xanathar's Guide to Everything has information on the forgery kit on page 81. Now, if you wanted more detail on the forgery kit, I have a live stream that goes into a lot more detail on this topic. If you want more videos, I have hundreds of videos for players and dungeon masters covering every aspect of Dungeons & Dragons and Dungeons & Dragons 5e. If you want to support the channel, you can through Patreon, the Amazon affiliate links down in the description, the merchandise shelf underneath all of my videos, or just watch my videos. Do the usual YouTube things like share, like and subscribe, hit the bell button to be notified when I go live and when I publish new videos, and hey, till next time, keep rolling those 20s.